Yeah, hi there. These comments are for my YouTube students over at YouTube, and today I'm actually going to grade some of the practice tests submitted from my online TOEFL course students. So let's see how they are doing right now. So I'm going to go into my email, and every day my students send speaking and writing practice for me to grade. So my job is to give them feedback every day. And a lot of my students, they can get up to 30 they can get feedback of up to 30 speaking and writing practice tests every month. Alright, so let's go to the first one here. I'm going to talk to the student now. Hi there, these comments are from Mohammed, and I'm going to listen to, it looks like a pronunciation lesson you're working on right now. It's called word stress. So let's see how you're doing in this area. Okay, I'm going to go and open up the actual file that you used. Hope you're having a good day. And let me get the speaking rubrics too here. I should probably do that. Give me a quick second. Okay, we have that. Okay, let's download your speaking practice. Okay, here we go.
The machinery underestimated how difficult it would be to convert the converts.
Got it. So let's take a look at this one and see how you're doing. So I see where you are. So you're doing some practice right now on word stress, am I right? So word stress. Got it, here we go. So you're reading some sentences, and I'm going to give you some feedback on how you're doing there. Okay, so here we go.
Of his religious philosophies.
Let me bring this up here. Give me a quick second. Just want to make sure I can see the actual passage here. Make it a little bit bigger. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
The machinery underestimated how difficult it would be to convert the converts of his religious philosophies.
Okay, not bad. So, I like how you pause. It would be to convert the convert. So, the one thing you want to work on a little bit is, let's listen to the rest of them and I'll give you one comment on it. Give me a quick second.
The student ran out of time and no longer be able to take the exam indoors. Outside by the picnic table was the quartet who would be starting the concert. Southeast of Grand Canyon lies a beautiful valley in which some settlers have taken up residence.
Okay.
The trail runner outpaced the other runners in...
You want to see the trail runner outpaced, put the stress on the second part of that word, not the first part.
the outback, so he could outdo the course record by more than a minute.
Could outdo, so he could outdo the course. So again, do, when you get these two compound words here, put stress here on the second one, not the first one. Okay, now the one thing that I wanted to talk to you about right now, Mohammed, is there's four characteristics of the stress syllable. You want to make it clear, louder, longer, and higher pitched. For example, you might say convert, convert, religious, philosophies. So what you're doing, you're not really changing the pitch in your voice. So that's one thing I'd like you to work on, is when you stress the stressed syllable, and for the most part you know where to put your stress, but you're not making that stressed syllable higher pitched. If you can make it higher pitched, that's going to help you have a better intonation of American English. So let me just read 2 examples. Number 1. The missionary underestimated how difficult it would be to convert the converts to his religious philosophies. So you want to read it like that. And that helps you kind of vary your tone, because part of your problem is you're not varying your intonation like you need to. All right? Okay, I'm done with this one. I'm going to send him his comments right now. So once he gets his intonation going in the right direction, I got a good feeling. I think that Mohammed will be able to very quickly improve his TOEFL score. But the delivery is very stubborn, and a lot of students, once they solve those delivery problems, their speaking score goes up. I mean, up to like 27, 28 points. I've had a lot of students in my online course, they're stuck at about 22 to 23 points, and once they improve their pronunciation, then they get over 26. That's what he wants to do. Okay, let me go ahead and send him a quick email. So he will get my comments that you guys heard at YouTube. I just sent them to him right now. And see, a lot of students are stubborn. You might be one of these watching this video. You might say, well, Michael, I can solve my intonation problems on my own. I can solve my language problems on my own. It's possible you can, and you don't need me. But it sometimes takes up to 10 or 15 years of using English before you solve all of those problems. What I'm doing is I'm trying to help students solve these problems quickly in just a few months' time. You see what I'm saying? I know if you've been using English since you were 8 years old and you're 22 now, that you don't really need a TOEFL speaking specialist or a TOEFL writing specialist. You're already there. Your English skills are good. You just need to become familiar with the TOEFL exam, and then you're good. You get your high score, you're over 100, and you're done. Right? But not all students have 10 or 15 years of English experience before taking the TOEFL test. Some students have only 1 or maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 years of English experience. So they need more guidance. They need a lot more practice before they're going to reach their goal. Okay, let me move on. I'm going to go to my next student now. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so I go to the next one. So this student's interesting. Comatop, she took the TOEFL test a while back. She scored 28 out of 30 in the TOEFL exam. So this is a good one for you guys to hear at YouTube. Because her speaking is obviously very good, but for some crazy reason, she now needs to take the TOEIC exam, and she wants to get a high score on that. So she's been practicing some TOEIC questions, and the TOEIC is a test of English for international communication, right? So she's already has really good, obviously, she has really good speaking, and she just needs to get ready for this new test. But what you don't know, what I want to tell you about this student, which is very interesting, is when she first took my course, she had actually quite a few language issues, right? And she spent, you're not going to believe this, she spent 45 to 60 minutes just to practice one speaking practice test. She would write it down, she would correct all her grammar, make sure it was organized and develop and all of that, and she practiced several times, and then finally, after about an hour, she would record it and then send me an email. Like, man, wow. She did that for 2.5 months. So every day she spent about an hour just working on a practice test. And when she gave it to me, I would give her all kinds of feedback. She'd make some changes. She'd do another one over and over and over. Now, you might be watching right now, you might say, well, Michael, how can she do that the TOEFL only allows 15 seconds of preparation, or I have 30 seconds of preparation at the most, right? And even though she took all that time, she took the TOEFL, she still got 28. How is that possible? But think about, what did she do as she was practicing? She was practicing for that hour. She was actually learning vocabulary, she was learning grammar, she was practicing her pronunciation, and she was doing all kinds of things. And even though the TOEFL doesn't allow that much time for her preparation, she still was able to take the test and got a very high score on the speaking. How about that? All right, let me listen to her. Hi there, these comments are for Comatop, and I am Michael, and I'm going to listen to your speaking practice test that you sent me by email. So in this one it says you're describing a picture on the screen in as much detail as you can. The criteria is pronunciation, intonation, stress, grammar, vocabulary, and cohesion. Wow. The question is, this is good. I'm glad you did not send me the picture. So can I understand what the picture is by your description? So let's see if I can do that. Right, here we go.
In my opinion, this picture was probably taken in the street because I can see a road in front of the people in this picture. In the center of the picture.
Now you can see what now? Let me go back.
In front of the people in this picture. Picture was probably taken in the street because I can see a road in front of the people in this picture. In the center of the picture, there is a woman wearing a black jacket and...
Now in the center of the picture there is a woman. What if you did this? In the center of the picture is a woman who? So instead of saying there, you don't even need that. You say in the center of the picture, because you're using the prepositional phrase at the beginning of the sentence there, you can use what's called a subject, verb, inversion word order, and that's demonstrating a little bit more advanced grammar.
Pants. She's also wearing flat shoes. I notice she's holding her hands with her children, I guess, and one of them is a girl and the other is a boy. Probably they've just finished school to go home.
Now, if she's holding her hand with her children, right? Is she holding hands with one of her children on one side and then one of them on the other? Is it kind of in a row? You know, so that you're not exactly explaining.
I also think they're waiting for the traffic lights to turn green so that they can cross the street.
Okay. So probably you're saying the woman is standing vertically or erect, right? So on her right side she has one of her children. On the left side she has another, and she's holding hands with the children on both sides or something. So you probably have to say something like that if you want to really create the picture. So overall, I think based on what you did, you have very natural pronunciation. You're doing well with your intonation and your stress. Grammar is also good. Vocabulary, I think you could improve some of your descriptive elements a little bit better. That might be something you can work on. Cohesion, I liked how you said in the center of the picture, you made things fairly connected. So I felt like when you were moving from the beginning of your response as you were describing the picture, as you got to the middle of your response to the end, there was a clear connection of ideas. So I think you actually did a pretty good job with that. All right, Comatop? All right, thank you. Okay, I'm going to send her comments. Now, did you guys hear it at YouTube? That is 28 points on the speaking section of the TOEFL exam. That is it. So if you want to know what do you need to speak, how do you need to sound in order to almost get a perfect score, it is that. You need to sound like her. I know her. I know what her TOEFL score is. She sent me her score report. I can tell you her speaking is 26. Her speaking is 28. All right, I'm going to go ahead and send her these comments that you guys just heard. Then I move on to the next one. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let me get rid of this one. Let's go back here. I should have gotten rid of that in a minute. Okay, let's go to the next one. So I'm going back to speaking. So this one is one of my online students. So he's doing independent speaking practice test number 43. His name is Khalid. And actually, this guy, you're going to like his tone. I got a feeling he hasn't gotten a high TOEFL score yet, not on speaking, but I have a feeling that he should be able to get close to 26. The one thing I like about him is his intonation is so natural sounding. It's really, really good. All right, let me talk to him for a quick second. Hi there, these comments are for Khalid, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. All right, so let's take a look. So you're doing independent speaking practice test number 43. So what is this question? So it says here, do you think humor, beauty, or honesty is the most important quality in choosing a spouse, husband, or wife? You must choose one. Give reasons and examples to support your choice. Okay, let me go ahead and download what you said here. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we can look at the question too. I'd like to look at the question. I want to see exactly what this person is answering. This is important. So do you think humor, beauty, or honesty is the most important quality here? So here we go.
Because I love to laugh all the time, I would choose humor as the most important characteristic of a spouse.
I like how instead of saying quality, you said characteristic. So you're restating the speaking prompt, which is important, but you're also using a synonym to show that you have a good range of vocabulary. So, all right.
Actually, I am a very funny guy, and I like that the people who I know, even my friend, and especially, of course, my wife, and she has to laugh at my jokes, and I would love to laugh at her jokes, because I believe that laughing is the best thing that we could have.
Be careful with those ums and ands in there. You have a little bit of what we call conversation fillers, a few pauses and hesitations in there.
Do for ourselves and our health, and research has shown that laugh has a lot of positive.
Research has shown that. Let's go back.
Do for ourselves and our health, and research has shown that laugh has a lot of positive impact on our health.
I would say that laughing has a lot of positive effects on our health. So I would actually use the gerund there, not the noun, right? Because you're talking about kind of an action in progress. Something laughing is good for your health is better than saying laugh is good for your health.
And as I said, I'd like to enjoy my life and laugh a lot, and I also want to protect my heart and my health. That's why I would choose a humor kind of girl rather than
I would say a humor type of girl. I would say a humorous girl rather than
honest or beautiful one.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not impressed with it that much. I mean, obviously you have good delivery. You had some minor pauses and hesitations in there, but I think probably you could have done a little bit better job of organizing the ideas, right? So if you said something like this, you said, well, because I can have a better relationship with my spouse, and I can improve my health or have a better health, I prefer someone who has a sense of humor. And say, well, first of all, I want someone who has a sense of humor because of a better chance of having a long-lasting relationship with this kind of individual. Then you give an example to illustrate that. Say, second of all, I also would want my spouse to be humorous because it'll be better for my health in the long run. And then you give some examples to support that. So I think you needed, on this one, I think you needed to be a little bit more coherently organized, and because your topic statement you put in the beginning wasn't as specific as it could have been, I think you didn't have that tight type of organization that the TOEFL is looking for, right? Okay, so let's take a look at your score here. Let's see what we have. Okay, let me click on the rubrics here for just a second. Give me a minute. So if we look at the rubrics here, yeah, I'm going to put you a little bit below 3 on this one. I'm going to put you maybe around 2.83 out of 4, 22 points out of 30. So I think you could have done a little bit better job with your topic development. You had a minor language use issue with laugh or laughing. So if you need to, go to the grammar part of my course, check out the lesson titled Gerunds and Infinitives. See if you can understand that lesson a little bit more. All right? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send Khaled these comments. Yeah, I didn't like that one as much. See, that's the problem. This is why you need a TOEFL speaking specialist. You have to work out these issues, and it takes sometimes a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, 3 months. It takes time to work out some of these speaking issues before the student becomes really, really proficient in the speaking. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, I'm going to send him a quick message. Go to the next one. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's see what we have. So I go to the next one. It's getting busy too. My students are practicing here. Okay, we have one more here. Let's keep going. Yeah, hi. These comments are for Shahad, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. I think you're doing independent speaking practice test number 5, right? All right, let me download it. Let me see what we have here. Let me go back.
An important person in my life.
Okay, got it. So I know what that is. Okay, also I want to look at the speaking task here. Yeah, this question, these description questions are killers because they break the template. People want to just, okay, the person is important to me for 2 reasons, but they don't really describe the person, so make sure you don't just memorize a template to answer this question. In this case, don't even worry about having a topic statement. Simply describe the person first, and then maybe give a reason why the person is important. That's fine. You should be good. All right, here we go.
An important person in my life is my mother. She's very important because of her kindness and bravery. Firstly, for me, my mom is the kindest person in the world, and if I had a problem or being stressed from studying, I went to my mom. She always listens to me, support me, help me, and I went to my mom. She always the kindest person in the world, and if I had a problem or
If I had problems,
being surprised from studying, I went to my
I would go to my mom. You said had, right? So if I had problems, I would go to my mom. I would probably use it that way as opposed to saying went, because you're using that conditional clause there.
my mom. She always listens to me, support me, help me, and
She listens to me, supports me. Don't forget that third person present S on the supports.
encourage me.
Encourages me.
Another thing,
Now, one thing I want you to look at, so you're having some problems with your S endings, and particularly if you need to create a new syllable or not. So go to the pronunciation area in my course. I have some lessons I want you to look at based on this problem. In the pronunciation area in my course here, Shahad, I have 3 lessons. It's called grammatical word endings and syllable division. Study those lessons, and then you'll learn some rules about how to put syllables on the ends of words, especially words with grammatical endings, and that should improve this problem that you're having. Or maybe minimize it or eliminate it.
my mother is important because of her bravery. I remember when my dad has died by a cardiac arrest. I was 10.
I would say I remember when my dad, and I'm very sorry about that.
I remember when my dad has died.
Not I remember when my dad died. Not I remember when my dad has died. So when you're talking about an action in the past, that's no longer part of the present, right? I remember when my father died. I would just use simple present in that case. The present perfect, Shahad, is when you talk about something in the past that has current relevance to the present time frame. So you might say, for example, I have lived in California for many years. Now if I say I lived in California for many years, that means I no longer live here, right? So if you're still not sure, go to Google. Let me give you some key words. Using the simple past and the present perfect tenses in English grammar. Type in those keywords in Google, and then you can find out more about the difference between these 2 verb tenses in the past. They're not the same.
By a cardiac arrest. I was 10. I had a little brother. My mom was able to overcome her sadness, and she worked in order to support us so that
I would say my mom was brave in that she was able to. So I would use the word brave here because this helps tie back to that second support point you've already mentioned earlier in the response. So you want to keep the ideas connected.
that's why I think she's important because of her courage and kindness.
Okay, so her courage, her bravery, and her kindness. I liked how you used courage and previously used brave. That's a good synonym, so that shows you have pretty good vocabulary. All right, so now we want to take a look at the rubric. So how will you score on this essay? That's what you, or how will you score on this speaking test? That is the question, right? Okay, so overall, you had. You know what? You're doing better with your delivery. You're varying your intonation a little bit more, so I'm liking that. I think language use, you did have some problems there, as I pointed out, and also there's some problems with topic development, a little bit, right? And the one thing with topic development, I think, I wish you had described her first a little bit. Tell me how tall she is, what kinds of clothes she likes to wear, does she wear glasses? Talk about her personality or describe her first, and then maybe give one reason why she's important to you, and then you will have better addressed both parts of the speaking task. All right, your score here, I'm going to put you at 283 out of 4, 22 points out of 30 on this practice test. All right, I'm going to send her a quick email. Speaking practice for January 13th. She has, her pronunciation, honestly, was terrible in the beginning. But wow, what changes she has made with her intonation. It's much, much better than it was. I'm very, very impressed with her progress, and she does speaking every day. She sends me a practice test every day. Now, many of you who are watching this, many of you are already students in my online TOEFL course, and I want to tell you, just because you join an online TOEFL course doesn't mean anything if you don't use it. You have to use it. And the main thing you guys want to do, you want to post speaking and writing practice tests daily. You guys hearing me? Daily. And that's really how you get better. You got to do daily practice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and send her a quick message. And I got class in about 20 minutes, so I got to get out of here. And looking at my email, have you guys seen this? It drives me crazy. There's this YouTube, it's an advertisement for YouTube. It has this dog that's jumping up over, there's a window in the door, and the dog keeps coming up about 3 times, and the 3rd time you see the dog moving in slow motion. It drives me crazy. It's a very clever video because it forces me to look over to the right of my screen to see it, but it also is distracting. But it is a clever video, I guess I should say. All right, let's keep going. Let's go to the next one here. All right, this next student is Marcelo. He's doing independent speaking practice. He's focusing on independent speaking practice test number 143. Okay, let's see which one this is first of all. I gotta get going. I gotta go faster here. So it says here, describe a famous park or recreational area in your home country, then explain why you enjoyed going there. Use examples and reasons in your response, right? So describe the park first, then explain why. So he's got really 2 parts to the question. And guess what? A lot of people don't describe it. Why not? They don't have the vocabulary to describe it. They don't have good specific vocabulary. So what do? Make sure you're reading a lot right now. Watch a lot of movies. Study some vocabulary. Really use English. If you're at home, right? Take a note card and everything you see in your house, put the name of whatever the object is, write it on the note card, put the note card on the object. So you have things like television, or you have blind, you have electrical outlet maybe. For an electrical outlet, you might have a plug, a cord, a blender, dishwasher, washing machine, dryer. Make sure you know the names of all those things. Even simple basic words in English, they can come in very handy for the independent speaking section of the test. It shows you have really good natural sounding English. Okay, let me talk to this guy. Hi there, these comments are for Marcelo. How's it going today? It is January 13th and I'm going to download and listen to your speaking practice test number 143. So you're describing, according to the question, you're describing a famous park or recreational area, and then you're explaining why you like going there, right? It's very simple. Here we go.
The famous park in my country is the Central Park located in my city.
And when you say park, I want you to put a little more air on that P there. That's a very explosive consonant. A park, park, park. Pronounce it with more air.
First of all, I enjoy going there because that park is really big and has a soccer field. In addition, that park has some recreational areas to play some games like volleyball or to exercise.
Okay.
Moreover, I used to go there with my family and enjoy time with my pets, usually dogs.
You enjoyed what?
Moreover, I used to go there with my family and enjoy time with my pets, usually dogs.
I'm having a little trouble at about 35 seconds, so not completely clear what you're saying.
And we used to run and play some soccer games. Overall, that's why I enjoy going there.
Okay, I think it's okay, but I'm not going to give you a 4 on this one. I'm going to put you at 23 points out of 30. So I think your vocabulary, especially in terms of the description of the park, you could be a little bit better with that. Is it a grassy park, for example? Does it have any lakes? Are there sidewalks? Are there trees? So you might say, well, I go to this park, I like going to this park. It's framed on the outside by, tall green trees. In the middle of the park is a lake. Surrounding the lake is a track where people can walk. And also to the right, there are some volleyball courts and there's a huge soccer field or something. So you could probably do a little bit better with some of the descriptive elements of it. So I'm going to put you at about 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30. I think it's a good response, but probably not a response that would score a 4. All right? Okay, I'm going to email him. Yeah, I think he's got a good chance of getting 26, and he's improving his pronunciation. He's doing better with his pacing, but still, like I was saying, he needs to get a little more precise in the kind of vocabulary that he uses to really explain his ideas. I feel like he's still a little bit limited by his lack of vocabulary. That's one thing that he can improve on. Okay, I'm going to send him a quick email. And we keep moving on. And there's that dog again. Ah! I'm seeing that dog in the YouTube advertisement thing. Man, driving me crazy. Okay, let's keep going here. So we got another one. Looks like this student is doing some word stress practice. See what we got.
Pamphlet entitled Dissertation on the Canon and Feudal Law.
Okay, I know where he is. Let me go find this. Let me see if I can find it here. Give me a quick second. Okay, here we go. Bring this up. Now you guys at YouTube, why don't you practice some pronunciation? So how would you read these sentences? So he's also working at word stress. So I'm evaluating whether he knows how to stress multisyllabic words correctly. Okay, let me talk to him for a minute. Yeah, hi there, Mohammed. I'm going to listen to your pronunciation practice exercise with word stress.
Town instructions. Denouncing the Stamp Act 1765, Mount John.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Pamphlet entitled Dissertation on the Canon and Feudal Law and Town Instructions, denouncing the Stamp Act 1765, Mount John Adams as a vigorous patriotic penman.
Exactly, but you got no life. I mean, you sound like you're talking at a funeral. So you need to put more emotion into your voice there. That's one thing that you really got to work on. We have been working on this. We're working on this. I'm going to continue to dog you on it. I'm going to continue to tell you about this.
Earlier studies of firefighter mortality that
mortality, and then you go mortality, firefighter
did not identify brain cancer as a cause of death were done before the widespread introduction of plastics in the 1950s.
It's the same thing as before in your previous word stress practice exercise. You know how to stress the syllable within a word, but you're not making it higher pitched. That's the thing you got to work on.
California State University San Bernardino, or CSUSB, is a university at which one can become a CPA and can complete an MBA degree.
Okay.
Mercury is the second densest major body in the solar system, indicating that Mercury's dense iron core is relatively larger than Earth's, probably comprising the majority of the planet.
All right.
Upright wrestling was conducted in a jumping pit-style arena, a type of round or oval building with an open space with rising seats in the middle.
Okay, so what we need to do here
Pamphlet entitled Dissertation on the Canon
is, I'm going to read it one more time. I want you to pay attention to my pausing and also my tone. Tone's kind of complicated. Okay, so let's go number one. A pamphlet entitled Dissertation on the Canon and the Feudal Law and Town Instructions, denouncing the Stamp Act 1765, marked John Adams as a vigorous, patriotic penman. 2. Earlier studies of firefighter mortality that did not identify brain cancer as a cause of death were done before the widespread introduction of plastics in the 1950s. Number 3. California State University San Bernardino, or CSU-SB, is a university at which one can become a CPA and can complete an MBA degree. Number 4. Mercury is the second densest major body in the solar system, indicating that Mercury's dense iron core is relatively larger than Earth's, probably comprising the majority of the planet. 5. Upright wrestling was conducted in a jumping pit style arena, a type of round or oval building with an open space with rising seats in the middle. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to send him his comments. Okay, I'll send him a quick message. I think that's it. It's 2:30. I have to go to my composition class here at California State University, San Bernardino, in about 10 minutes. So this is probably the last thing I will do today. I think we're good. I'll send him a quick message. There we go, and that's pretty much it. There we go. So thank you for watching. Wait a minute. Somebody's answering the difference between explain and express. All right, let's take a look at that. Good question. Let me look at this question here quickly. Actually, you have to contact me. I'll answer this question on another day. I got 8 minutes. I'm going to be here another 10 minutes explaining this, so I apologize. But I need to go to my writing class now. All right?